I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have no idea who I'm going to start with. So let's get into it. Black Quarterback Series, Week 10.
Feel good. Feel good. Just happy to win. Out of all of that, that's all I was worried about was winning.
Start with the foundation, the toughness. That's what we preached all week. Who's going to play 60 minutes? You already know, who's going to play 60 minutes, the hardest and the toughest. And that's what we did towards the end, so we pulled through.
That pick six, the tip ball, that's unfortunate. That pick six, you just got to finish the game. Like you said, we up 14 points. You just got to finish like we've been doing.
If you don't know me, my name is Keith. I do Black Quarterback Series, and today we got a long week. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. I'm very excited. I've been very excited about this episode. So we're going to start with the Ravens and Cleveland. Let's get the numbers out the way. So Lamar was 13 for 23, 223 yards, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. One was a pop-up and one was a really, really, really bad interception. And so then we got Deshaun. He was 20 for 34, 213 yards, a touchdown and interception. And so I'm going to start with Deshaun, and then we're going to talk about Lamar because Lamar's section is going to be extremely long. So Deshaun played this second half the way we've been wanting him to play since he first got to Cleveland. Everybody was like, oh, had Deshaun lost a step? Had Deshaun? They said, no, Watson was just hurt. He was just hurt. When Deshaun plays like this, Cleveland's going to be hard to beat. I have the numbers. I screen grabbed it from Twitter. I think he was like 14 for 14. I don't remember the numbers offhand, but I know I have the picture, so I'm gonna put it up here. Deshaun didn't do nothing special. He just won the game. He did everything that we wanted Deshaun to do, and he outplayed Lamar Jackson. I'm not gonna sit here and cape for Lamar like he didn't have a bad game, but I will say, and excuse my language, the offensive defensive lines of Cleveland absolutely kicked the Ravens' ass on both ends of the ball. I'm talking about second half straight dominating. They made the Ravens play their style of football, and when that number one defense is locked in, it's not much you can do. I don't think anybody would have been able to play well against Cleveland's defense in that second half when they was humming. Now, I do have a problem with the play calling. The play calling was a big issue for me because I'm like, why is Keaton Mitchell not in the game? He's the best runner. He ripped off a really big run. When you got up 20 to something, he was one of the reasons. He only had 3 carries. Why does he only have 3 carries? Now, I know the other guy, I think his number is 42. I can't remember his name right now. It's spacing me. He did get a touchdown, but I mean, Keaton Mitchell, excuse me if I'm not saying his name right, but Mitchell is playing the best out of the 2 or 3 running backs we have. Mark Andrews looks like he's still hurt, so he's not playing as well. When you look at all that, that's a setup. That's a setup for disaster. You know what I mean? That's a major setup for disaster. But Lamar didn't make the Lamar plays that we normally see him make. From one of the first times he played Cleveland, when he went to the bathroom and then came back and threw a touchdown against Cleveland to Hollywood Brown. Y'all remember that? That was on Monday night. So to say, like bozos are saying on TV today, that Lamar's inconsistent, Lamar this, Lamar that. I agree. Lamar can sometimes be inconsistent. Lamar can sometimes just looks very spacey sometimes, right? But I'm not going to sit here and be like Lamar is the root reason as to why they lost. The offensive line didn't play well. The defensive line didn't play well. You're up. Well, how much? I can't remember how much they were up, but you were up more than 15 points going into the fourth, and then you don't score again and you lose. Like, you should be able to score 31 points and not lose. And this is the 5th time in like the last 2-3 years that Lamar has had to deal with this. Lamar didn't play a good second half. He did not play a good second half. He played pretty poorly in the second half. But to make these sweeping judgments about Lamar based off this one game when they're 7-2, I'm not going to do that, because on the other end, we're going to get to them next. Joe Burrow had 2 critical interceptions that were the main reasons that they lost and got outplayed by a rookie. So if we're going to talk about Lamar's shortcomings, and then you can say, well, Joe made a Super Bowl and that, I get it. We're talking about right now, though, not then and what you expect from him. I expect Lamar to bounce back. It was a tough game. It was bound to happen. And I think a lot of us are forgetting that this was a divisional matchup. Like, they've played them before. This is a divisional matchup with the number one defense. Maybe not number one, but definitely top 5. So I'm not saying give Lamar a pass, but if you're gonna play poorly, this was the game that you play poorly against a division opponent. I'm not sure if they were at home. I think they were at home, but you play bad against them. And Deshaun had a magical day. Let's not just put all of that on Lamar. Deshaun also had a magical day that nobody was expecting. It wasn't pretty, but it got it done. He got it done. Lamar had a bad interception. The interception was terrible. The pop-up interception, I'm not really putting on Lamar because he said in his press conference he saw somebody open. He tried to sidearm it. Defensive end caught it, pick 6. And that's pretty much the game right there. That tends to happen. But I'm not finna go down on Lamar because he had one bad game. And now you be like, Keith, you've been saying he's a game manager. I say this is an elite game manager. So it's Lamar's fault, but he's part of the problem. He's not the whole problem. And that's my only thing about people who criticize Lamar. If you're going to blame Lamar, he's not the problem. He's part of the problem. Just like you wouldn't blame Joe Burrow. He's part of the problem. He's not the problem. Not Joe Burrow's probably a poor example. Justin Herbert. He's not the problem, but he's part of the problem as far as coaching and all that crazy stuff. So, great game. It was a really, really good game. Really, really good game. Shout out to Cleveland. Every team in this division is looking like they might make the playoffs. And like I said last week, if Cleveland can get their sugar honey iced tea together, it's going to be scary in this division. You might be talking 13 wins might keep you out the playoffs in this division. It's going to be a bloodbath. Okay, so we're going to move on to C.J. Stroud and his amazing day. He was 23 for 39, 356 yards, a touchdown and interception. He had help in the running game. Singletary, 30 carries, 150 yards, a touchdown. And Brown, I can't remember how to pronounce his first name or what his first name is, but I know. Last name is Brown. Brown had 7 receptions, 172 yards. They were up 20-7. Now, you would think that that's the end, but like I said, Joe Burrow is a winner. I didn't say that, but Joe Burrow is a winner. They turned up, and CJ and them are still learning how to win. This is a young team. Like, I akin this team to the Oklahoma City Thunder, maybe of this year or when Kevin Durant and James Harden and Russ were there. This team is extremely talented and extremely young, and we still have to remember that they're extremely young. We have to keep that in mind. We have to really, really keep that in mind because I feel like that's going to get lost when they make the playoffs this year, which I really think they're going to make the playoffs this year, especially with Trevor Lawrence stumbling and being Trevor Lawrence, you see. So, like I said earlier, Joe Burrow lost his game for them. 2 interceptions, 2 bad interceptions at that, right? Trying to force in the ball. The second one was the worst one. He might have got beat. I would have to see the all-22, but it looked like he got fooled or beat, and that defensive end made the play on it, and he was able to catch a knee on the ground. And to think that wasn't even the end of the game because Cincinnati had another possession there, and with that possession, they was able to go and score. And so even with Joe having a terrible fourth quarter, it was 27-27. CJ got the ball, and the young guy turned into Tom Brady. Boom, 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 strike, run, strike, making every play that you need to make. And when it came down to it, they kicked the field goal, and they stole a game that they had no business winning. Now, I've been saying that they're going to make the playoffs. If Trevor Lawrence and them don't, do what they're supposed to do, they mess around and win the division. I never thought that was a possibility. I just never thought that was a possibility. I just assumed they were going to make the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence was going to run away with the division, and they were going to be a first round out. And then they were going to learn and develop, right? Because D'Amico Ryans is that guy. Excellent defense. But Joe is that guy. He's been in the Super Bowl for a reason. So, good game. Really, between this one and the Cleveland game, probably the 2 best games of the week. Shout out to C.J. Stroud. They might as well send the Rookie of the Year to his house. the rookie of the year and the offensive rookie of the year, they might as well just put that in his house now. We don't need to wait till February to figure it out. Who might win it? No. It's C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. It's his. Go give it to him. Put it in his house, and let's stop the BS. So yeah, great performance. Great performance. It's just you've never seen a rookie come in this poised before. Maybe not since Dak Prescott. Like, even the guys that we talk about, Lamar and Patrick and Joe and who put Tom, you put any of your favorite quarterbacks here, they didn't come in this poised and they didn't come in and win like this. The only one I can think about is his Texas mate, Dak Prescott. And yeah, it was great. Shout out to CJ. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. We're going to do the Vikings versus, who were they playing? The Saints. So Josh Dobbs is 23 for 34, 268 yards and a touchdown. I love what Josh Dobbs is doing, but I need to see Josh Dobbs finish better. Josh Dobbs tends to tail off. He'll look really good, and then he'll kind of tail. He's what people think Lamar. He's very up and down. Like, he'll be super duper spectacular, and then just not be there anymore, you know? So I want to see more. I want to see more from Josh. Jameis Winston, 13 for 25, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So Derek Carr got hurt. I'm not sure what is hurt. I'll put it on the screen if there's been reports about it or anything. It's going to be on the screen. But yeah, Jameis Winston did Jameis Winston things. He made a phenomenal play, one of the best plays of the year to Olave. It was a crazy catch. If I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. It was ridiculous. Threw 2 interceptions. Now, the game ended 27-19, which led you to believe that it was closer than it was. But for the most part, the Vikings had it. The Vikings had it in hand most of the time. So, shout out to Jameis. They need to. I know Jameis is Jameis. I know he weird and blah blah blah. But every time I see Jameis play, I'm like, oh, okay, he plays pretty well. It's just the freaking interceptions. A couple years ago when he was a full-time starter, I used to always say this. If Jameis just threw 15 interceptions, that's still extremely high. But, bro, go 2-3 games without a pick. Like, me personally, I think they still win the Super Bowl in Tampa if it's Jameis. And Jameis only throws 8 interceptions that year. He just has to take better care of the ball, and that's always been Jameis's problem. GENO Smith. Now, GENO Smith was 31 for 47, 369 yards, 2 touchdowns. DK had a big game, 7 receptions, 98 yards. Now, the game was not very exciting, to say the least. Like, it was a very adult, if you want to put. Like, there was nothing spectacular about this game. It was a run-of-the-mill game. The fourth quarter had more scoring. It was 14-13 scoring in the fourth quarter. Had pretty good drama towards the end, but none that I would say that you really missed. You know what I mean? They end up getting a win. Washington, it's time to tear it down. It's really time to start over. And I think EB should be the head coach. EB deserves a chance to be the head coach because that offense would look absolutely terrible if EB was not there. You see how Kansas City's defense looks, or Kansas City's offense looks without EB, and you see how they offense looks with EB. Now, I'm not saying that, he's the magic elixir to this team, but he got Sam Howell playing well. Now, the offensive line is trash, but you putting up 29, 30 points almost every game. Well, not every game, but every game I watch, you're putting up big numbers. So, obviously, offense is not the problem. Offensive line is the problem, but it's time to tear down Washington. Cam Newton's not walking through that door. It's time to tear down Washington. And I say Cam Newton because last time Ron Rivera was successful, he had Cam Newton as Dallas. They beat up on a bad team, as they normally do. Dak was 26 for 35, 404 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Do this against a good team, and I will talk about you. But until then, you'll be a footnote. CeeDee Lamb had crazy numbers. He's been on a crazy run like the last month. If I can find his list of numbers, I'm going to put it up here. But he's been on a crazy run. And to end today's video, we're going to talk about Kyler Murray. Now, I made a video. If you want to watch it, I'll leave it in the description or I'll leave it on the end card. Kyler Murray's back. I don't know if you guys knew that, but Kyler Murray came back. That just felt like he got injured and recovered really, really fast. 1-8 team, you are in a position to get the number 1 pick and you decide to bring your franchise quarterback back. Now, I don't know if he's auditioning for other teams or anything, something like that, but I don't think that was the best idea. Now, Kyler Murray was awesome. Don't get me wrong. 19 for 32, a rush touchdown, 249 yards of interception. His numbers don't show how well he played for this to be his first game. He looked like Kyler Murray. He didn't even look injured. But you guys are 2-8 now, and I'm going to make a strong case that they can go 500 the rest of the season. But what point does that make? What does that prove? That doesn't do anything for you. Going 500 the rest of the season, what, gets you the 3rd pick and 4th, 5th, maybe a teens instead of the 1st pick? Now, I just don't think it was a good idea to bring Kyler back. He looks good. They brought him back against Atlanta, which was a good idea because Atlanta's not very good, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it, because I just didn't think it was a good idea. So, long video. I had fun watching this week's games. A lot of these games were down to the wire. A lot of drama, a lot of high drama everywhere from start to finish. And shout out to the Raiders. They're finally winning after getting rid of another Belichick disciple. Now, I've never had a chance to talk about this because I don't really talk about Belichick and them. There's nothing interesting that ever happens there. But we're going to have a conversation about Bill Belichick and the fact he can't win without Tom. I think it's safe to say that it was Tom Brady that was New England. We thought it was Bill, but it was Tom. So let me know what you guys think about anything I said, and I'll talk to you guys later.